This episode's featured building set is the Sembo Block Coffee Shop. Set number 601093. Contains 2,095 pieces. For ages 6 and up.
Heyo! Mark and Nicholas back again with the new Speedbuild. Today we're doing what's called the coffee house,
coffee shop
by
another. See, I don't want to say knockoff Lego set because it's not a knockoff Lego set. It's another brick set, another brick company. Like, you know, there's Mega Blocks out there. There's Lego out there. The Lego block itself is not copyrighted anymore.
Yeah, no, exactly.
So other companies can do it. So there is this other company called
Sembo Block.
They have a lot of original ideas, but they also have a couple that are stolen or used from Lego,
redesigned.
And this one here is from what I can tell, their model. I could be wrong. It could have been stolen from somewhere else because, you know, there's lots of like Lego ideas out there and all sorts of stuff like that. So we don't know what really is copyrighted anymore, or what's stolen, what's not stolen,
Although what we know is that Sembo Block, for once, seems like a legit company. You know, like not like Le Pen or Bella or those type of third-party Chinese knockoffs things. This one, for once, looks like it's a legit company, just like Mega Blocks you said earlier. So that will be interesting.
And this one's kind of cool because it has lights.
Yeah, like this set comes with. Can you get the set without the lights?
I don't think so. It's legit. It comes with lighting.
With the lights.
The only thing it doesn't come with is a battery pack or anything to light up the lights, but it shows in the instructions where to put all the lights. So it's not like guesswork. Like where a lot of the modular sets you could buy third-party lighting sets, and it's sort of like you figure out how to put it in. This one in the manual states this goes there and that goes there, and so.
Also, needs to specify this is not a modular one.
Unfortunately, no.
So if you're hoping to build a city with all the modular creator sets, this one technically doesn't connect with anything. I mean, there's always, you know, loopholes and workarounds, but just
like
to specify,
yeah,
it is not part of the creator.
Like a straight-on click in, it doesn't do that.
Exactly.
Like, because first off the bat, the board is like
it's so big.
And unfortunately came quite damaged because they put it in a box that like is exactly the same width and shape of this, so the corners kind of took a little bit of a beating.
Mostly just the corners, so hopefully not much will be put there.
Or whatever is put there, it's held together and you won't see it.
Exactly.
So let's give this a shot. Just over 2,000 pieces, so it shouldn't be that bad. Okay. Oh, and it's only about $120 Canadian, which is about $90 US. Which it's not an expensive set.
For 2,000 pieces? I mean, you need to do the math of how much it costs for the piece. But yeah, we've seen much worse. Much worse.
So let's really build it.
Well, there you go, everybody. After 4 hours and 2,000 pieces, the coffee shop?
Sure. That's what we're going with.
I mean, I don't remember. Anyway, the coffee shop, the Starbucks non-official brick set. What do you think of it, Mark?
Okay, visually, it's a very, very pretty set.
It is.
Like, it looks really good like that.
Building it, though.
Building it was an absolute nightmare. Now,
it started well.
It started very simple, but at the same time, a little bit repetitive and frustrating.
Yeah.
Because you start off with the base plate, and the base plate has all bunch of these 2x2 smooth tiles, as well as bigger smooth tiles, but it's all smooth tiles. Like the whole damn thing, with very little studs exposed.
Yeah.
And even to the point where we got over just underneath the main part of the building, there's this beautiful graffiti part and a random whole bunch of white smooth studs that everything goes on top of, including another floor that you put on top of it underneath all that, which is not necessary.
No, exactly. You waste time into doing some sort of a pattern with the tiles, but in the end, you're just you're just placing something else on top of it.
It's really hard to explain.
What is the point of doing all of that pattern and everything if you're just going to hide it with another plate?
And on top of it, the plates that we're putting on underneath all that are big, smooth plates. Yeah. Like really big, smooth plates. And already this being a knockoff, pieces are really tight compared to what Lego standards are. And to get a whole flat piece flush onto it is really, really hard to do. You almost had to whack it with a hammer, but we couldn't do it on the table. We couldn't whack it with a hammer. So I squeezed the living crap out of it. It's
quite a lot.
Which is a shame. Because at the beginning, though my thumb is killing me, it was great.
Yeah.
It's once you started going through the whole process, there are a lot of points that...
There are good things, though.
Yes.
There's the stickers.
Yes, that's
really
true.
Nice stickers.
There usually when you have a knockoff set, or even some Lego sets, when you put what looks like a translucent sticker onto a part, it's a big square sticker or whatever. It's a big sticker with the drawing or whatnot on it. In this set, it's almost like a transfer of sorts. You have your piece.
It used to be JPEG, now it's PNG.
Yeah, because you have your part, you have your sticker, which is a nice big sheet, and you stick it on, but you're not done. Once you've placed it on there, you then peel the top layer off, leaving a perfect sticker.
Like without background. It's like a 2-layer sticker. So the first one is to stick it on your brick, and then the other one is just to remove the background.
Which is almost like you do on cars and that.
Like a tattoo.
I would say more like when you're putting a decal on a car, you have your whole design, and then you have a big clear sheet that's stuck onto it to hold everything together. And when you stick it on the car and you push everything down, you peel it off, leaving just the sticker. Which is really, really nice. I would say that's a positive thing on this set.
It's pretty much the only thing.
And then it goes downhill?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, it started with the minifigure. 2 of the figures, I mean...
Okay, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There's 12 minifigures in this.
Which is a lot of figures for any kind of sets that we've built so far.
Visually, they're great. The prints on them are great.
Also great.
They're
not yellow.
They're not yellow. They're human color. So
they're human skin color, which is...
It's different.
Yeah.
The way they're labeled in the book, it's a little bit... There's some of the colors that are... Yeah. You have lots of like blues, light blues, whites, dark pink, light pink, another shade of pink. But then, while we were building them, we got down to the last 2 people, which I'm guessing they're what, Baristas there? Baristas. And first mistake, they didn't include enough right arms.
So the last two figures have 2 left arms. So yeah,
they kind of look like
yeah,
they're not right.
I mean, it's just figures. It's no big deal. Worst case scenario, it's you just need to change the arms. It's just that it's weird. What else?
All right, so then the figures were done. We moved on to the vehicle, and that's where we saw the lovely first introduction of those stickers, which was great.
Yeah, it was cool. The vehicle, it's really just to display, because it's like you cannot use it for anything. The doors, like you cannot shove your figure inside the doors.
You'd have to take it sort of apart and stick the figure inside it. But it just looks derpy. It looks very small. Yeah. And there's no place to store it.
No, exactly. I was trying to put somewhere, but...
Considering all this is sidewalk, there's not a garage, there's not like a parking spot. There should have been some kind of a parking spot.
I'm assuming this is a street, and this is the sidewalk. So it's street.
Oh my god, really? And that's what they're considering is...
I mean, because here you see the lamppost.
I really hope that's... But I see your point, yeah. And it might be it. And why brown? Why did they choose brown? Why not yellow?
I don't know.
What part of the world is this from?
To make it fit all together, I'm assuming.
I would have switched it with yellow. Then yes, that would... But no. I wouldn't put the white. I would put black. And then yellow. Well, there was only a few things that I didn't like about this set. Now there's a lot more. I'm actually...
Bags. Numbered.
Yes.
Usually bags come... Well, these days, all the sets come numbered. Usually it's very easy to notice them. There's a big 1, there's a big 2, 3, up to the number of bags there is. This one was a little bit tricky.
Each bag had... First of all, it had a whole bunch of codes on it. The first code was the number of the set number.
Yeah.
And then it had a point, and then it had which bag it corresponds to in the book.
Yeah.
And then another point, and then it had another number stating how many bags that you have for that bag in the book. Like for instance, it was bag 1. Well, there was bag 1 of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 2 or whatever. But that's how it was.
Which is confusing because in the manual is actually like Lego. It's just bag number 1, bag number 2, bag number 3. So now you need to figure out which bag is actually which one, which is the number that was in the middle of the sequence. And the last one is actually how many bags there is into that specific
and there was one or
number.
There was 1 or 2 bags that didn't have any numbers on it, as well as the big piece one. But we're used to the big piece one not having
the big
it.
piece is something different.
Usually they throw that into the box.
Yeah.
What else? What else do we need?
Some stickers don't fit. Like the one on the inside.
Yes.
The stickers was slightly too big. So I mean, it, like it had to fold at some point.
Well, see, a lot of the pieces on the bottom, the brown pieces that they did on the wall, I call them lazy man walls because they're one solid piece that's well, they're hollow on one side, but they give a big wall, and they called for stickers on the inside of that, and it wasn't cut perfectly to the inside. It should have been slightly smaller to fit perfectly inside. So unless I screwed up and put it on the wrong side, which that's quite possible because the instruction manual, there were so many parts.
Yeah, it was hard to follow.
I complained about it's funny. I complained about when we were doing the treehouse, and the treehouse had each step one piece. Well, this one here put a lot of pieces
Everything
into
is so compact in the manual.
And it's so small. Yeah. Like when we were doing the truck, holy crap. Like step 1 had all these like 3 pieces, 4 pieces, and they cram it together with a little red line around each piece that actually went together, and it's hard to tell.
Like for one page, you'll have maybe 8 steps. So one step... And so it's so crowded, so it's so compact that it's hard to follow where each pieces could go.
And how the way they did a lot of the pieces, they showed a piece of brick like that and a piece of brick like that with arrows as to those go together, but not how they line up, because just going like this doesn't tell me anything.
Yeah. Like the arrows are not completely useless. Lights.
Yeah.
That was
well,
he got mad.
First of all, it's a cool feature. It's a feature that you don't see in Lego sets.
No.
There's, like we mentioned before, third-party sets. The third-party companies have created Lego lights for the modular sets.
This one, although, was made to have lights, or sort of made.
It was designed. It has a hole, and it states where you're supposed to put every. But the strand of the USB port that it comes with the cable of lights, it doesn't specify which light goes to where. Only that the length of the cord, what the length of the cord should be.
Yeah, because it's basically the light is one cord, and then at the extremity it's separated into different lights, 5 lights. Each light has a different length, but everything is connected into one cord.
So it doesn't tell you which one to start off with, because it goes step by step when you get to that part for the light, but not a single one would fit not a single light that we assumed was the light to go into that spot fit properly.
Exactly.
And I had to tear apart.
Then we go to the second floor, we try some light, but then they're not long enough, so we try to go back into the first floor, so we need to disassemble some things. We switch the light, but again, the light don't fit, because then it's too short again. So really confusing and angry times.
And then talking about building.
No foundation?
There's no Okay, the gimmick of this is it's not like modular sets where you could take off level by level, which I wish it was.
Yeah, me too.
But I guess with installing the lights, you can't do that.
Oh, okay, I understand, yeah.
Unless they figured out some other way. They could have had like a post, say, in the middle that had light that would stay there, and you just pull off the parts. But because it doesn't do that, and the lights are attached with wires, it opens up like a book.
Yeah.
And because it opens like a book, the way they designed each level doesn't really have support underneath.
There's no support at all.
Like, the whole center, there's only one support piece, and that's where there's stairs in the back. That's the only support piece for the middle layers. The middle layers, once you push any blocks on it, the whole thing just caves in. Because it's not secure. Sorry.
Right when you're starting up the second floor, you're losing everything that is strong enough. So when you're trying to put something, you need to put some sort of pressure on it. But if you put too much pressure, everything will collapse. And stuff collapsed.
Yeah, and that's the whole theme of putting this together. Everything is not sturdy. There's a lot of pieces, like I could just see on top, there's a lot of, and they've done it down below with tables and all that, where we build one level and we build stuff underneath, and that rests on 2 points on the side. Yeah. So again, you push anywhere on the top, the whole thing crumbles. And I just thought about that now because we were talking about wrong pieces. There's pieces missing.
There's 2 windows, frames of the windows that are missing.
We have the glass, but we just put them in the back. We just put whatever. Yeah. I found whatever I had lying around to fit there, and I'm just noticing everything on the back. There's no support.
Yeah.
I could just.
No, well, exactly. Like I saw you like fiddle a little bit, and like you could just remove the whole thing, and
you can't open the other side. You can only open one.
Well, that's another thing. Because they're using big, flat tiles like that, they tend to bend a little bit too much. So when you're using too many of them, like that roof, for example.
The whole roof is bent.
Yeah, the whole roof is bent now. It's really because they're using big tiles.
And before we start going through, because we're going to pop up pictures of what everything looks like. Here's what it looks like with the lights. Right. Like 3, 2, 1, we have light. It looks really good. Yeah. See, it's a shame because the set looks good.
It does look.
Building it was an absolute friggin' nightmare.
It was.
Such a nightmare. Anyways, while we have a little bit of light before we tear it apart and look into it, right on the top, which is cool, they have this sort of like, I don't know, like plant.
Yeah.
That's
to be like a terrace.
Which is really nice, but the only way to get to the terrace is some random ass ladder that's inside and a escape hatch. Yeah. Oh yeah, like I'm gonna carry my coffee up to that.
It's a nice picnic table.
It's a beautiful picnic table. It's well designed. It looks good.
But again, if you try to like hook a figure in the middle here,
that's the theme of the whole thing. Everything falls apart if you touch
everything.
it. But see, yeah, what you were pointing out with the picnic table, there's not a single stud on it. It's all smooth studs. They look great, but when you're trying to put a figure on it, it doesn't stay.
So when we're talking about playability, this set has very none.
You could set it up to make it look really nice, but God forbid you breathe next to it.
It's only for display purposes.
You can't play with it.
Because even just to carry it,
I don't even want to think of that. I don't even know where this is going. And now thinking like carrying it, it's just because I don't even have it in the right spot. I don't.
Because the foundation, like the big plate, is not sturdy enough. Like we tried to just grab it to put it centered on the table for you guys, but everything will crumble apart if we try to just grab it.
Because the base plate is very, very, very soft, and since you
very
have
thin,
and it's very thin, and you have all the pieces, all the smooth bricks on it, you have all these seams. So as soon as you pick it up, it starts to. All right, I'm gonna disconnect the light so we can sort of open it up. The interesting... Ooh, something fell apart inside. Lovely. 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 Okay, the interesting part... Is that going to interfere? Let's find out. Because since it opens like a book...
No, it doesn't.
Okay, that's cool. Oh, yeah. That's as much as I feel comfortable opening it.
But again, I don't like that you see the cables of the light.
See, if you followed the instructions... on how they explain where the cables go in cable management, you're not supposed to see them like that.
Yeah. We kind of tried to fiddle around because we didn't understand the concept of the lights. So we kind of gave up at some point and put the lights wherever they could go.
Alright, so we explained the top level. The middle level is like a hangout area.
Yeah.
Where you have a nice little patio outside, which extends all the way to the other one, with a cool coffee
really nice
mug,
coffee mug. Yeah.
With a little bit of steam coming out, and a beautiful sign for the coffee shop, which has that translucent label that was on it. A whole bunch of seating, but again, the benches that are in here, you can actually sit figures on them, and they should stay in place because there are studs. You have a table...
As long as you don't put too much pressure on them.
Yeah, no, then they'll fall through the ceiling. You do have a lovely little buffet, which is weird to be randomly on that level, because if they've bought the food down below, who's watching the food up top unless you put one of the other, maybe the dude with a broken arm?
I'm assuming that the first floor is like coffee shop, the second floor is more like a restaurant kind of deal.
Yeah, but there's no cash, no register.
I'm not trying to find logic here.
I am, and there is none. So yeah, there's that level, which it looks nice. The bottom level is like my favorite. It continues the whole checkered pattern, all on the floor, which again was a pain in the ass to put in. But the register area, there's a little place for the cash. You see the...
it's very well detailed,
and
there's a lot of room to move around.
And there's a lot of, there's cups that, all the cups have printing on it. They're all ripped off of Starbucks.
Everything is a rip-off of Starbucks.
But there's the
logo, the name, the brand, everything.
There's decals, and it shows the whole menu. It looks absolutely beautiful. It's just building it.
The cups is printed on them, though.
Yeah.
Because it's so small, like nobody could put a sticker on that.
Don't tempt anybody.
Yeah. There's a nice graffiti in the center plate
that says welcome, but it's weird because the graffiti doesn't really match the theme.
No, really not.
Like there's coffee beans in the graffiti.
I just like that when you close it, the corner here is displayable.
But I don't know. The graffiti looks out of place.
Yeah. I guess it's just to put some kind of color, some kind of...
hidden
ambiance. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
Because once you close it, you don't see anything. Like, you see the graffiti only once it's open.
I found out what fell. It's a piece off the lovely... There we go. These are all fabric. These are nice.
It's... In my opinion, the set is too big.
Yes.
The main plate, you could just remove, like this here. Make it smaller. Make it more, stronger into its foundation. Because, first of all, there's it's so big to display. You need so much room to just display this, and opening it, you're losing even more space.
That means you can't have it backed up into anything.
You can't.
It can't be in the corner. You can't have it with your other modulars if you wanted to play with it.
Yeah.
And again, it doesn't fit with the modulars. It's its own thing. I don't even think there is a modular series that goes with this from this company. I know the company had done ripped off versions of the Lego modulars. You can't close it now?
No, I'm just trying if it slides well.
Okay. And it destroys all the... So yeah. I don't know if I could really recommend it to anybody.
I wouldn't. And it's a shame, because it's beautiful. But I wouldn't, because it was a pain in the ass to build it, and it's a pain in the ass to, like, transport it. It's a pain in the ass to, it's like you said, we could just blow on it and everything will fall apart.
Now I know a lot of people would probably say because we speed build it from beginning to end without any really breaks or anything like that, that's why we get so aggravated.
It was only 4 hours.
I understand that, but we've done sets that are like 4 hours and we don't like it, and it's because we're exhausted and all that, because we've done it late night. It's not late night, it's pretty early.
Yeah.
And I don't think that has anything to do with our final opinion on it. It really sucks.
Like, at this point, we've done enough set to not be called professional, not at all. But, like, we know our stuff a bit, like we've done some. And it's by far not my favorite.
I actually prefer some of the modulars that we did. Like the 4,400 one that's up there.
Yeah.
The construction site, which I hated.
Yeah.
I prefer that one over that. It's super fragile.
Yeah, the crane is really fragile.
But you could probably fix it with a little bit of glue if you really wanted to.
Yeah.
This, even if you were to glue the pieces, the bases would be too soft for you to put any kind of pressure on it, and it would just crumble under, or bend, or warp, or whatever. So, I think we covered enough.
Yeah.
I think we covered everything. Yeah. So, that's it. That's all. Thanks for watching. So don't forget to like, comment, share, and
subscribe.
See ya.